Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Commissioners Court. I've got 10 o'clock, so I call this meeting to order. As usual, we will begin with an invocation, followed by the pledges. Dear Lord, I come to you this morning and thank you for the start of another day and another week. Thank you, Lord, for the Christmas season and for your many blessings upon us. Please be with us in all the decisions before us today and in the week ahead. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
The next item we have on our agenda is citizens' communication. Anyone who would like to address the court on any county-related business is welcome to do so at this time. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning.
Just a quick update on our MITMOD projects. We received our startup documentation this past week. So I just wanted to let you guys know that all our resolutions for the startup process will be on our first Commissioners Court meeting for next year.
Wonderful.
So not a huge bit of project progress, but I know every little bit counts right now. So we are moving forward. We're working on it. And we're going to
We'll take what we can get on this
hit
deal.
the
Yeah,
road and run next year as well.
sure. Thank you, Robin.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
Robin.
It is.
Other comments
It is
this
hot,
morning in citizens' communication? This is our last meeting in December, so the last meeting of the year, and it will be a lengthy one.
Make
by
sure it
all
was a doozy.
appearances. Lots of stuff to get done. All right, before I move on, anything else in citizens' communication? If not, then we will move right along to item number 4, which is to consider approval of minutes and take appropriate action. Each of you have a copy of those minutes in front of you.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 5, consider approval of accounts payable and take appropriate action.
Accounts payable for December 15th, 2025 are $3,349,328.07. Supplemental payments are $363,965.23.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Thank you, Michelle. Item 6 is to receive monthly and quarterly reports from various county officials and departments and take appropriate action.
We have monthly reports from the county judge, county commissioners, precincts 1, 2, 3, and 4, county clerk, criminal district attorney, sheriff, and justice of the peace, precinct number 4.
Move to receive.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 7, consider approval of bond forfeiture releases and take appropriate action.
None at this time.
Very good. Thank you, Belinda. Item 8 is to consider approval of Citizens Medical Center interim vendor payments and take appropriate action. We have the December 11th memo from our hospital showing interim vendor payments in the amount of $269,667.01. And the ACH report on that same date totaled $2,098,144.85.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item number 9 is a sad item.
Second on that.
That is to receive for the record a notice of resignation from Paige Melton, Victoria County AgriLife Extension Agent, 4-H and Youth Development, and take appropriate action. The day has come, Paige.
Yes.
Was it something Commissioner Sexton said?
It usually is, from what I hear.
No,
so.
not at all. Not at all.
You can do this.
been here 2.5 years. It's a little.
No, no worries at all. No worries at all.
So I brought my support team right there. It's been more than just a job. It's become a part of who I am. I'm excited to be able to provide for my personal family in a different way now. I'm just going to take care of my kids, and most of you that know me know we have so many things going on with other businesses, and it's time for me to be in that role. But I've truly enjoyed this job, met so many people. A lot of people have become part of my family now. The amount of support that I've gained from you guys has been tremendous. I know lots of counties don't have that support from their judge and commissioners, and I think that's been why we've been so successful in Victoria County 4-H is the support that y'all have given our program. It has grown in the 10 years I've been here. I think when I started, maybe we had 430 kids or something. I grew it to at one point like 540. Now it kind of stays around 500. Lots of things have come to this county. Super proud of my kids. I think my saving grace is I still live in the community. Victoria is my home now. And I'll still be around seeing everybody. So truly want to say thank you for allowing me to grow in this role and kind of take the program. And I'll just see you all in a different role now. So thank y'all.
Well, thank you, Paige. I know I speak for the court in saying that you have been tremendous in your role, really make the program, the county, the community look good. The success of the program has been incredible, and you've been a rock star in that role. We'll miss you, but we don't hold it against you at all. Moving on to family obligations, 10.5 years is a lot to commit to a role, and we appreciate you for it.
Thank you.
And so we will miss you, like I say, but we wish you all the best of luck moving on, and look forward to seeing you around in another capacity.
Oh, well, can't get rid of me that easy. Thank y'all.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
I just
Paige.
have one
We
question.
Thank you,
appreciate
Paige.
you.
Just have one question. Will you still be attending Bougie Bingo?
The what?
Bougie Bingo?
Yes, January 16th. Anybody want a table? We got
Okay.
prizes in the office start to come in.
Okay.
Yes.
You will
Yes.
be missed, ma'am.
Yeah.
I
Good
will
luck
miss
in your
you
new
guys
endeavors.
too, but-
Let's give Paige a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Isn't Bougie Bingo a woman thing?
Did I miss one? No. Oh, okay, yes, let's
Oh,
see here.
Then I can ask my question.
On 9 that we're on first, do we have a motion to
So moved.
receive that resignation?
Regretfully, move.
A regretful motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Now we'll go back to 6 and reopen that. What have we got here?
What do you got?
Report from County Treasurer.
Okay.
Move to receive.
Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. All right. Item number 10 on the agenda is to hear an update from the Victoria Regional Airport regarding holiday flight promotions for Victoria County residents and take appropriate action. Good morning,
Good
Lenny.
morning, Commissioners. Good morning, Judge. As far as that promotion, we had got a lot of phone calls, a lot of people interested. So far, only one person has taken full advantage of the promotion, but we hope that we get a few more over the
Sure you
rest
will.
of the
Okay.
holiday. Yep. But lots of interest, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't had more people apply. I know I've seen online people flying out of the airport. I guess they just haven't.
I know I've been sending people to you that I've been getting questions about.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, and you know, we had a lot of sort of questions that did not qualify under the program.
Right.
And, you know, we kind of have to stay within the parameters of the what you guys voted. So we had a lot of people that had purchased the tickets a long time ago or already flew or
So I was
flying,
wondering-
or they're flying outside of the promotion.
Right.
So But we clarified all of those, and the ones that we're getting right now is people that are trying to get their tickets now and fly within the
Good.
Okay.
promotion.
And would you happen to have some updated numbers where we stand as of now?
I haven't gotten anything. I was just checking my email because I requested that. Unfortunately, we haven't had internet at the airport. Last week, we were most of the week off, and the weekend we were off, and today is like still not working. So I haven't been able to check everything. But if I get it on my phone, I can give you that update, Judge. I did requested it, but Skyway sometimes takes a little bit to
Sure,
get back.
understood, no worries. All right,
Hold on a second. Actually, I just got it.
okay. Drum roll.
I got the month to date actually, and hold on a second. Sorry about that, Judge. It's about 545 on one and for about 700 or so far.
Okay, so we'll end the month, it'll be a record.
Yeah,
record
it will be
year.
we're about half of the month, so we're about half of the numbers that we had last year. We had like
Okay.
about 1,600, so we're about 700 and change.
Okay,
And I gotta get those numbers. They didn't send me all the numbers in order, and in the phone you open them and they're all distorted. But I'll give you that number.
very good, very.
So we'll have more for the year, and even that's even withstanding the month we were,
Yeah, we
shut
will
down.
end this year more than last year.
Just by a
Yes.
little bit, yeah. So-
but that's
In
including,
looking-
that's including that we were shut down for over 30 days also, right?
Correct. And looking at the statistics of how we did every month
Right.
last year, where we are today, if December is even pretty close to what we got last year, we're definitely going to be ahead.
Good.
Yeah. So, but I crossing my fingers that everything goes as planned.
Okay. Very good, then let's move to item number 11, and that is to consider the following for the air traffic control tower rehabilitation project, the Victoria Regional Airport, contingent on receipt of additional Federal Aviation Administration grant funding in the amount of $1,840,915. A is to receive for the record the sole bid received clarification letter and bid tabulation. B, receive for the record award recommendation letter from Centurion Planning and Design. And C, award the sole respondent Logger Companies, Inc., contingent on receipt of additional FAA grant funding in the amount of $1,840,915.
All right. So we designed this project, we went out to bid, and the bids came higher of the total grant. This was a particular grant that was applied about a year and a half ago, and this was exclusively for the tower rehabilitation. These grants are a little tricky because in any other grant, if the bids come high, the FAA will analyze it and they would easily add some more money to the
Okay.
grant. These grants were kind of exclusive. Once the amount of money is put in, it actually, that's all you get. I did have a conversation with the FAA last week as far as the grants, the bids coming high, and they had told me that they would commit the rest of the money under a total different pot of money.
Okay.
So as soon as, if this gets passed today, I would work on the grant applications, one for now wrapping up the final grant application for the 1.7, and one for $544,415 that covers the overage on the bid, plus $7,500 that covers our IFE or independent fee estimate, and a tiny little bit of grant management on that. At the end of the day, the FAA stepped forward. They were very gracious to offer that additional money through a different pot of money. So where you're voting today, just to make it clear to the contractor, is that all of this is pending on the FAA actually approving their grant applications and putting the offering of the grants, which they want to do pretty quickly, because they want to get this all wrapped up under the grants before the end of the year.
Very good.
And Lenny, what percentage would the county match to that?
Oh, sorry, I forgot,
my
totally
next
forgot that.
question.
On that, 544,415, it will be at 5%. Right now, grants are at 5%. be a little over about $26,000 or so.
Any additional questions or discussion on that? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve 11A, B, and C.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of approval?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 12, we will pass
you very
on
much.
for now. Thank you, Lenny.
Thank you, Lenny.
Thank you.
Passing on 12 for now. Item 13, we will come back to that after closed session, so we'll move on to item 14. And that's to receive for the record the fiscal year 24 and 25 Golden Crescent Regional Sexual Assault Response Team Biennial Report and take appropriate action. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you so
morning.
much for allowing me time to speak today. My name is Catherine Reynolds, and I'm the Golden Crescent Regional Sexual Assault Response Team Coordinator. So one of my duties is to put together a biennial report over, to cover the last 2 years. And part of that is collecting data from all 6 of our counties and then presenting it to all of our commissioners' courts. And then it will then be submitted to the state on February 1st of 2026. So I'm going to go as quickly as I can because I know you do have a lot on your docket today. So I'll hit the highlights, but please stop me if you have any questions or want me to go over something else. So just a little bit of background, going to page 1. On September 1st, 2021, Senate Bill 476 was passed, and it required each county commissioner's court to establish a county adult sexual assault response team, or SART. And because we have some smaller counties, there was an allowance to that counties with fewer than 250,000 residents could combine, which is what we did. And so we have Calhoun, DeWitt, Goliad, Jackson, Lavaca, and Victoria counties. And we had actually already had a SART established before the Senate bill, but the Senate bill just allowed it to have a little more teeth, and the state is interested in, keeping up with, how things are handled for sexual assault survivors, as well as the prosecution of crimes against adults in our communities. So that's really the purpose of that. So going on, just going over a couple of the challenges that we've seen in the last few years. Again, this was established in 2021. The first biennial report that was ever done was that covered the years 22 and 23, or fiscal years 22 and 23. And we have had still a few more challenges the last couple of years, but things are also looking up. So for the challenges, though, there's just been a little bit of struggle with communication over the years of trying to get people to buy in. But a big part of that is because this is an unfunded mandate. So it's asking all of our county officials that are involved, all of the medical staff and advocacy centers, and our law enforcement officers to give even more of their time without any extra money. So that is always a little bit of a challenge. But fortunately, as I mentioned, there's some positive things. So we are starting to get better communication, a little better system. It seems like we're having more buy-in at our meetings. And I will say Victoria County is well represented. Our DA is very good, always attending, as well as our law enforcement officers and our SANE nurses, and again, our advocacy centers. So we have a lot of buy-in from Victoria County as well as the other counties. So for protocols, that's a big part of the report. It's one of the things the state wants to see is that we have established protocols that are written, that have been voted on. Unfortunately, even though we have a lot of collaboration that works well for all of our different organizations involved, we do not have voted on protocols at this point, which was also the case for 2022 and 23. They have been written now. We just have not quite, they've been halfway written, and we're still in the process of writing them, and then we will vote on them. So the goal is to vote on those protocols by the end of fiscal year 2026. And then if I go on to the next section of our challenges page, we also need to do a case review. That's another one of the things that the state wants to see. And so once we complete our protocols officially in 2026, then by the end of 2027, we'll be able to conduct a case review. And the purpose of that is just to make sure that we are, that we have a good system in place across all of our agencies. So from first respondents to a sexual assault through our hospitals, our advocacy centers, and that everybody's working well. And then we can identify if there are any holes in that process. So that's the goal there. And then I did talk to the person over at TASA that is over all the SART coordinators, and she knows that it's a work in progress, since it is still a relatively new process with the SART. It's, we're not the only regional SART or county SART that has still had these things in development. But looking at having a timeline is going to help us out a lot, I think. And then going on to some of our accomplishments, as I mentioned, we are getting more buy-in as we go, and so that's been exciting. A major improvement over the last biennial report, I mentioned we have 6 counties. Last biennial report, we had data received from only 3 of our 6 counties, and for this report, I received data from all 6 counties, all of the law enforcement offices I talked to, and our DA's offices, so that was very positive. And yeah, that's the biggest thing I'll hit there, just so we can move on. And then going into the next 2 years, I mentioned already our goals for the protocols and case review, but also we're just trying to continue to build that rapport and that collaboration between our counties and all of the people that are on the SART. So continuing that is our goal. Okay, and then going to really briefly touch on our SART overview on page 5. It shows our mission: empowering survivors, promoting justice. Our goal is to enhance services for sexual assault victims through survivor-centered interdisciplinary care and precise evidence collection for successful offender apprehension and prosecution. And I have our objectives listed there as well. And then membership, and that's of course an important part of it that the Senate bill required, that certain members be part of our SART. And so if you look at those there, we do have all of those members. When, I mentioned that our DA in Victoria is very good about attendance and participation, but some of the counties, we have a DA that's, assigned a designee, or we have other, maybe a sheriff has assigned a designee, so that is also acceptable. And then the next page just has our contact info for all of the members of SART that might be needed to get into contact with for any reason. And then a breakdown of our members and designees and the votes that they have. And then on page 7, I have our bylaws. For this report, I did a condensed version of our bylaws. For the first report to our commissioners and our state, it was our very intense, long version of our bylaws. But those are still available on request if you need more detail. But this was just in the effort of, for the purpose of keeping it a little shorter than the last one, so that the state can just kind of keep up with what we're doing and the key points. Okay, and then page 8 goes into our trainings. That's one of the other mandates. We have to have trainings for our SART members, and so we do provide those at every single SART meeting. We have 4 SART meetings, or quarterly SART meetings. And then we have also offered a couple of trainings that are a little longer, because our SART meetings the trainings tend to be about an hour long. And then we've offered some each year that are even longer and have given our members the opportunity to participate in those. So we've actually exceeded our training hours each of the last 2 years. And then a special project we've started is called the There For You bags. And that's just getting together relevant information and some handy tools and comfort items for all of those who've experienced sexual assault. And the goal is to have all of the first responders equipped with these bags, so as soon as they get a report of a sexual assault, they're able to offer that to the victim, and they can look through the information and kind of know some of their rights and what to expect, and then also have some comfort items, fidget items, toys that can kind of keep them occupied if they're feeling nervous and fidgety. We also have a couple of items in there for children in case they have to have a child with them when they go to report at the police station or to the hospital. Okay, and then going on to, as I mentioned, a big part of the report is the data and findings for our area. We had great buy-in and communication about this year. So starting with, I'm going to mainly focus on Victoria County since that's where we are today. So Calhoun County, then DeWitt, Goliad, Jackson, Lavaca, and finally Victoria. So the top graph shows the law enforcement offices and the numbers they've reported. So for fiscal year 24, the number of sexual assault reports received From the Victoria County Sheriff's Office were 11 reports. Victoria Police Department had 29 reports for a total of 40 reports. And number of investigations conducted as a result of those reports, Victoria County Sheriff's Office, again, 11, Victoria Police Department, 29, and for a total of 40. So they were all investigated, which is exactly what the state's looking to see. Fiscal year 25, the number of sexual assault reports received for Victoria County Sheriff's Office was 5, for Victoria Police Department was 28, for a total of 33. And the investigations conducted, again, 5 for Victoria County Sheriff's Office, and Victoria Police Department had 28, for a total of 33. So again, all were investigated. And then for the District Attorney's Office numbers, for fiscal year 24, the total adult sexual assault cases that were indicted, 3. And the detail there, 1 was sentenced, 2 were sentenced on other charges, even though the sexual assault case was dropped. Total adult sexual assault cases with no indictment were 9 for that year, and then under review or inactive right now, 4. And then fiscal year 25, the total adult sexual assault cases indicted was 1, and it was acquitted. Total adult sexual assault cases with no indictment, 8, and then under review or inactive, 4. And the DA also wanted me to just know that it is something that they take very seriously, and all of these cases are looked into. Of course, there's different things that happen with, sometimes the victim of the assault will actually drop the case kind of, before it can even go forward. And, there may be different reasons. There's not enough evidence always, of course, but it is something they take seriously, and they're definitely trying to make sure that all of these cases are prosecuted. The next page is data that was new for this biennial report. With the 89th legislative sessions over the summer, they passed a new bill requiring that all rape kit data is also kept up with in the biennial report, so that they can know if there are any counties that have rape kits that are not being taken to the crime lab in time. And so I was in close contact with the SANE nurses in our area, and SANE nurses in Victoria at DTAR North and at Citizens serve all 6 of our counties. And so they were able to report that all 6 counties' law enforcement offices are very good about retrieving those cases. And so they tend to get the kits within 24 hours. So there's never a matter of it going past 7 days. They haven't had any instance of that. So luckily for all 6 of our counties, for both fiscal years, I was able to put that 0 rape kits were not transferred in time. Okay, and then moving on, there's additional data that the state likes to see, just to know, even though this is not required data as the other pages were. This is just to kind of get an idea of how our counties are handling different other aspects of sexual assault. So for our SANE nurses, they were able to tell me the number of SANEs or SAFE exams they conducted over the last 2 years, and that's the sexual assault forensic exams. So the number of adult SANE exams completed by SANE nurses in Victoria hospitals in FY24, which again, they serve all 6 of our counties. At Citizens Medical Center, they had 10 in fiscal year 24. DTAR North had 17 for a total of 27. And for fiscal year 25, Citizens Medical Center had 14. DTAR Hospital North had 16 for a total of 30.
All right, if you could take just a couple more minutes there,
Yeah.
Catherine. I know we have the report here, which we'll make available to the public. Lots of data. Lots
Yeah,
of data.
it's so much.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. We have a few more minutes here.
Oh,
Please
okay.
proceed.
Okay, and
Yeah.
luckily I'm almost done. I know it's taken a while. For the adult victim advocacy centers, Midcoast Family Services serves all 6 of our counties. They also serve Gonzales, Texas as well, or Gonzales County. And then, so we have the top graph for Midcoast Family Services just showing a monthly breakdown of how many adult victims they served. And that's specifically for sexual assault because Midcoast serves domestic violence. They do have different departments that serve children and, do a lot of different things. But this is specifically for their sexual assault victim advocacy. And so there's a breakdown there per month for both fiscal year 24 and 25. And then I also was able to get numbers for fiscal year 25 from the Harbor in Port Lavaca, Texas. So they serve Calhoun County, and they also serve children. They have a lot of different things that they do. They have a shelter and a lot of different resources they provide the community. But for the adult numbers, that is a breakdown for their services there. And then finally, because I already talked about protocols, this is just submitting to the commissioners courts and the state what we have so far. So even though it is still a work in progress, and I have draft across those pages just so we know that is not something that we've officially voted on yet. So we have right now first responder sexual assault response protocols on page 19, and those are due to be voted on. On page 21, advocacy center sexual assault response protocols. And then we also have emergency room sexual assault response protocols. And so going on then to the next page after that, page 25, it just shows you what we're still trying to work on perfecting. So we need specific protocols for law enforcement, crime victim liaison, prosecution, mental health, and public health. And then the main thing, though, after talking to TASA, and this is something I'm going to bring to the start at our next meeting, the main thing TASA is interested in seeing in the next report is an intra-agency protocol so that we can see, you know, instead of having to have the breakdown just for what every individual agency is doing, they want to know what are you doing to make sure that there's that collaboration, what are just the basic steps that anybody in the region would know needs to be taken and needs to be provided for survivors. So that's what we're definitely going to be working on in the next year.
Very good. I think that would probably be a good stopping
start?
point for us, Catherine. Yeah,
Okay.
and thank you. I know you correctly mentioned this was an unfunded mandate 4 years ago. We had worked hard to be able to collaborate with other counties to avoid having each, it's a lot more manageable when we're able to
Yes.
partner with our other counties. And
Absolutely.
it is something the law requires us to do, the annual report, the statistics, but we appreciate you presenting that this morning and
Thank
all
you
that
so
you
much.
do.
Thank you.
And so I think our action this morning is simply to receive the annual report for the record.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Yeah,
Appreciate
appreciate
it.
it, Catherine. We had a motion and a second. All those in favor of receiving?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Moving on in the agenda to item number 15, that is to authorize to advertise a RFP, request for proposals for the Victoria County Juvenile Justice Center Generator Project, Hazard Mitigation Grant Program HMGPDR 4485-0010, and take appropriate action. Welcome back, Robin.
Hey, Robin.
Thank you. So we are going to advertise. We do not have an exact schedule of dates yet. So if anyone's interested in taking a look at this, just keep an eye out on our website. This is going to be for the juvenile generator project that will increase the emergency power to the whole facility versus what we have, which is very minimalistic right now. So that's about it.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 16 is to authorize to advertise the invitation for bids for the Victoria County Water Control and Improvement District, WCID number 1, sanitary sewer rehabilitation project, and take appropriate action.
So this is the Precinct 1 project for the Water Control and Improvement District in Bloomington. About $500,000 worth of improvements for their sewer systems. So we will, same goes, we don't have a timeline yet for this one. We're trying to just get everything moving so we can work on that between now and the beginning of next year and get those things out. But the bid invitation will be posted on our website when we, and in the paper, et cetera, when we get that going, so.
Very good. Any questions on that?
Nope.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robin.
Item number 17 is to consider approval of task order number 001-2025 from Raleigh McCoy and Associates, consisting of architectural services for analysis of the existing central fire station building located at 209 West Forest, and take appropriate action. Good morning, Avery.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Avery.
So this particular task order with RMA is an amount not to exceed contract of $4,500. And the purpose of that is to meet with Treasurer's Office and the Auditor's Office to do a test fit of that building. As I'm sure all of y'all are aware, we've previously had multiple concepts for test fitting that building in the past. And so we do have some additional data. That's why that contract amount is low, is that we already have prior experience in creating these documents previously with this architectural firm.
Yep.
And this will be pursuant to the next item in regards to our CO bond.
Move to
Okay.
approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. And that will flow into the next item.
Yep.
Number 18, which is to hear an update from the CO Bond Steering Committee in connection with the 2025 Series CO bond issue and take appropriate action.
So, Judge and Commissioners, I've got a handout for each of you that I'll be going over. This is an update from the CO Bond Steering Committee that was issued on Thursday night. These are the results from our previous workshop prior to approval of the CO bond award amount.
Can you remind us, Avery, who all is on that steering committee?
Yes, sir. So we have Commissioner Garcia, Commissioner Sexton, Chris, John, and myself.
Okay.
We will bring in facilities, and we've done so in our last meeting, and then we also plan to bring in the auditor's office as a way of keeping everybody on the same page with the current status of this CO bond, and then as we start getting into letting these projects, that we have an accurate idea of our financial picture, where we're at with spending to date and projected spending. That way we know if there's additional room for future projects or projects that were previously identified by the court as low priority, that they can be included, or if we have cost overages due to unexpected events with these projects, that we can take appropriate action with court to decide, what projects may need to be struck into this list.
All right.
So the list that I provided you with is all of the high priority projects that were previously identified by the court. These cost estimates that are associated per each project are about a 75% confidence interval, saying that we've taken a look at it as good of a cost estimate that we can make without having additional design documents or further investigative work. That's what that number represents. Our available bond award amount, for everybody's information, is $14.5 million. That is excluding any kind of fees. That's the amount that we have to work with. One item that is not on this list is any potential overages from the 2023 CO bond project. We'll be working with the auditor's office in the early part of next year to understand what, if any, impact of rollover do we have from projects that were previously encumbered under the 2023 CO bond, if they are eligible for rollover
Do
funding.
we have an
into this
idea of
bond.
what that might be?
We don't. With the smaller dollar amounts, with the award of the Regional Public Safety Training Center project, we'd essentially encumbered all funds available. Since then, you may recall, we've had several change orders, and as a future item on this agenda, we have 2 more change orders for Animal Services Relocation Project. They are small dollar amount, but they still would take away some amount of this bond.
Yeah, they'll still add up.
Yep.
Yes, sir. But I felt that it was prudent to mention that, especially as you'll notice that the total projected cost in this list is $20 million, $456,680, with $750,000 of that as spent. And that is, of course, for the purchase of the road crew reclaimer. So we have by line item each project. Judge, would you like me to go through line item by line item? Or just kind of generally talk about what we have?
Let's see, I know on our real estate acquisition, that's one of our several items for our that's one of our closed session items today. I guess beyond that one, you could just quickly go through them.
Remember, these are high level.
Yeah, at the
They are high level.
205 annex improvement.
Yes, sir. So that is a conglomeration of 3 separate projects. These will be broken out further as identified by the court. Right now, this $1 million projected cost includes the Phase 2 of the HVAC improvements project at the 205 Annex. That's the physical implementation of a system that's already been designed. We already have MEP plans for. Basement water intrusion repair, as you'll recall, we had identified that, in fact, a majority of the water that we've seen from recent high-intensity rain events has not come from the roof. It's actually come from a lack of sealant between flat work on the front part of the building along Bridge Street and the building wall and foundation itself. So we'll be looking to address that, as well as some issues with the sanitary sewer plumbing internal to the building. All three of those would be included, and again, that's $1 million. We have a countywide sliding door project. There's been some previous funds allotted for design and kind of conceptual evaluation, exit studies, things that are required by architects. The locations of this project that are eligible for CO bond funding are the Health Department, 205 Annex, and the 1967 Courthouse. And we'll be taking a look at the security entrance glass. Right now, the projected cost of that is $600,000. We have the Phase 2 of the Regional Public Safety Training Center. This is all-encompassing site work. So we're really excited about this project. Phase 1 is currently ongoing as part of the 2023 CO bond. That's for the building renovation. This is everything else. So it includes the septic system, flat range, contingency for proposed property expansion so that we can increase the footprint, a shoot house that would be grant funded to our understanding. There's a pre-engineered metal building that previously served as the gym on site. It would be renovated to include a briefing / potential dressed out room for the range activities. This includes provision for a single metal building for storage and general site flat work pavement. So that includes parking lot, access to and from the building, and then site fencing.
What was our total, or will be our total all-in number for this
So we have already got projected cost of the 2023 CO bond. This is just for the site work at 1.7 million. So the total all-in cost, I believe, will be 3 and some change, just shy of $4 million.
Okay.
I remember we cut out the fire department, the 2 other buildings and
Right,
offices
yeah.
inside. That's what kind of helped that some.
Okay. Thank you. Please proceed, Avery.
Yes, sir. And the next project is the 1892 Courthouse Improvements Phase 2. So this scope of work is going to include updating and repairing millwork, windows, replacing, general trim, and then painting of the exterior of the building. You'll notice I've got 2 items in red. That's the tunnel between 1892 and 1967 Courthouse. It leaks. It needs to be replaced. The plexiglass has experienced some pretty severe UV degradation. We need to look at an alternate solution. We have not decided on what that alternate solution needs to be, and I think that it's prudent to have a conversation and continue conversations with court for some direction. So that cost has been excluded.
Okay.
As well as the skylight above the atrium on the 1892 Courthouse. We currently annually reglaze that skylight. It experiences leaks. We have somebody going and checking at regular intervals to evaluate the scope of those leaks. I believe that it would be prudent to have somebody take a look at that and say, hey, what is the appropriate long-term solution so that we're not just continuing to Band-Aid it year on year. That has also not been included in our current cost projection. I think we would need to have some additional input on court as far as the direction and how far you want to take that. The next project is, in general, looking at all of our county-owned facilities, building by building, identifying which roofs are in need of replacement. The idea here was to address all of our buildings that are in critical need of a roof replacement so that we could take advantage of bulk pricing with a high dollar amount. And the total on that project corresponds with it being just a hair under $4 million. Right now, this includes the 205 Annex, the entire roof of the 205 Annex, 1967 Courthouse, the McFadden Building, and the remaining roof on the Regional Public Safety Training Center. This does not include 311 East Constitution or the Long-Term Recovery Group warehouse roofs. We do have a separate packet that was provided to us by Kelly at our last CO Bond Steering Committee meeting that includes pricing for those 2 roofs. But those buildings, as we previously identified in our discussion, are not eligible for CO bond proceeds. And so those have been excluded from this list. Just as a general reminder, this list is only CO bond eligible projects and is not including grant funded projects. This is just what we're going to spend CO bond funds on. The next project is 1967 Courthouse improvements. This right now is just window replacement and building expansion joint repair. Needed maintenance items. That projected cost is $300,000. As previously discussed by court, the Continental Hotel relocation is the next one. That has a projected cost of $300,000. And at a high level, this is the physical relocation of the structure and earthwork.
Have
to the
there
site.
been any recent conversations on that? That seems to have kind of fallen off.
No.
Thursday.
Thursday.
There's a
Yeah,
visit.
We're going to meet Thursday
Yeah.
morning.
Okay. Good, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. 1892 Courthouse Improvements Phase 3. This is addressing an atrium project, some interior renovations that will be historically appropriate, continuing the existing finish out of the courthouse to provide usable space in what is currently a place for plants, and then some privacy improvements to the elevator. So I think this is going to be a good project, and I know Commissioner Sexton is very happy about that. As I mentioned at the top of the presentation, the road crew reclaimer, that piece of equipment was purchased at a dollar amount of around $750,000, and that has been accounted for here. Juvenile detention new classrooms. At a high level, this is the proposed addition of new classroom spaces. The projected cost of this is $400,000. A little caveat to mention that the method of construction could either be renovation of existing space, interior renovation, but we may also want to take a look at portable buildings and expanding the footprint just to see if that would offer any kind of cost savings. So as of right now, this is taking into consideration interior renovation, but please note that we are evaluating any other potential cost savings. Central Fire Station remodel is a big one. This would be the relocation of our county auditor's office and treasurer's office, and then test fitting an up to 5-person generic county office on the first floor of that building. That's a complete interior remodel for those offices. This would also need to include complete renovation, rehabilitation of the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems. And it would include all building envelope preservation, so window replacements, masonry, and painting. The roof has already previously been taken care of under a separate contract. We're currently in the pre-engineering phase, as I mentioned. We had that previous agenda item that y'all just passed for test fitting. After the project has been test fit and we've determined, yep, everything that we need is going to fit within the building, we'll proceed with design document development. The projected cost for that project is $3 million. And then the last item on this list is in general animal services phase 3 FF&E. And so this is equipment and other systems that are needed for operation of animal services in the long term. That would include potentially an electric forklift that could be also utilized by the sheriff's office within our Profit Drive complex. Primarily that's for safe storage onto the second floor mezzanine within our pull-through area for storage of donated goods and animal services. General safety improvements to the mezzanine. Right now, it's a pipe railing and would represent a potentially unsafe condition for people loading and unloading goods. We'd like to address that. Finish out of the waste evacuation system for the kennels, general building signage, and then standby kennel waterproofing. There were a couple of kennels that were installed in that pull-through area that we'd like to make sure their use does not compromise the concrete that's underneath it. So some additional sealing work that we needed for them. And the total cost of that last project is $225,000.
About what ballpark was that total project, the animal services facility?
To date, so we'll be talking about that in the next agenda item with the 2 change orders and then our certificate of substantial completion. So if change order 5 and 6 have been authorized, those will be received for the record. Our final contract sum, including that change order, was $2,193,202.
Okay. Well, I very much appreciate this update, Avery. I know in 20 minutes, this report's representative of thousands of hours of the committee's time and effort and ongoing time and effort. I am thankful that I'm not on that committee, so I very much appreciate each of you that are. This pretty much knocks out what we intended to in our most recent CO issue. Now, of course, we're all aware that we have numerous very large-scale projects that aren't included in this.
Yes, sir.
But we're cognizant of that and have to look at other funding methods, but that's very helpful. Any questions up here?
No, I just laid out.
Yes, sir. So our next steps, as you are very well aware, the total here being essentially $6 million in excess of our available bond award amount, we are going to need to have an additional discussion. I'd propose another workshop type meeting where we can sit down with court and discuss what we'd like to potentially cut, what we need to further refine, if there are scope reductions that are needed. I'd like to propose that for the first quarter of next year.
I believe we need to do that in January, Avery.
Yes, sir. Yeah, as
Yeah,
soon
I
as
mean, the
possible.
sooner the better. We need to have a discussion
Yeah,
about
'cause we
some of
need
these
to
things.
trim 6 million out of
Yes,
this list.
yes.
Yes, sir.
I agree. All right.
Very good. Well, again, thank you very much for that update, and again, for everybody on that committee. Commissioner, I know you put in a ton of time, Commissioner Garcia and the others.
And Chris and John and Avery, everybody.
Everybody, yes, thank you all. Let's,
Thank you, Chris.
we'll move.
I move to receive. Is that, we're just receiving it, aren't we? Or nothing?
No, that's simply to
There-
hear an update. since
Okay,
This
so
is
it's
a
not-
fluid document.
So never mind, I don't move to receive anything.
Okay. We'll just move to item number 19, and that is
Erroneous.
to consider the following in connection to the Victoria County Animal Services Relocation Project. A, receive for the record change order number 5. B, receive for the record change order number 6. And C, receive for the record the certificate of substantial completion.
Yes, sir. So as I briefly touched on it, this is change orders 5 and 6 to the site. Change order 5 was a total dollar amount of $8,515.68. That was to add needed provisions by the city of Victoria to maintain our site compliance with the Unified Development Ordinance. And so that was replacing concrete at our existing gutter within the street itself. We didn't need to tie in the broken concrete. That needed to be replaced. And then we needed to add additional fencing to incorporate a dumpster enclosure so that our existing dumpsters were not visible from the right-of-way. That was then signed and executed by our office and proposed receiving for the record now. And then change order 6 was a credit back to us. This is reconciliatory. We do not anticipate any other change orders at this time under our contract with Logger. The total dollar amount of this was $1,781.12, and this included a final change of adding a second rail to the chain link fence, replacing just a tension wire, and that's for security of the animals if they were to be stored within that area, just so that they couldn't escape or damage that fence. And then the certificate of substantial completion was issued on November 19th. That basically represents the date at which warranties by Logger will commence. It signifies the end of their construction activities pursuant to the main contract. And attached to that document is a list of punch items that were identified with our design consultants and county staff on things that needed to be addressed. To my knowledge, I believe all of these items have been addressed, and Animal Services has begun relocating into the building.
Okay.
I know I'm very pleased with how the project was being delivered. I think a lot of the change orders that we've done have elevated the scope of the project to something that we can really be proud of. And I know we've received some preliminary feedback from some volunteers, and it's all been overwhelmingly positive. So,
Excellent. When,
Very
I guess
excited.
we don't know yet when our official ribbon cutting yet, or that's still to be determined. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Just let us know.
We'll be
All
there.
right.
I was really
All right.
surprised, I was really surprised at the cost of adding that pipe at the bottom of that chain link fence.
Yes, sir.
That-
I think
that-
part of it's remobilization, since it didn't occur prior to us installing.
That's brackets and 2-inch pipe.
Yes, sir.
That's a person in a truck. I was really surprised.
We were as well. I think a lot of it, as I mentioned, is kind of a hassle factor.
All right, do we have a motion to approve
Move to approve.
19A through C? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approval?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 20 is to consider approval and authorize payment of quote number 12525 from Coastal Office Solutions in the amount of $64,155.01 for the purchase of office furniture for the newly renovated Victoria County Animal Services Building and take appropriate action. So, I forget who was spearheading this. We got this originally at about 95.
Right at-
Joe, are you,
Right at 100, Judge.
as of
Yeah.
Friday, the interim director, welcome.
How you doing? Good morning, Commissioner and Judge and Commissioners.
If my recollection serves me, we had gotten this originally, and it was around 95,000.
It was higher than
We
that, I
needed
thought.
to-
Yes, it was higher, about 95,000, and now it's at 64,155.01.
Okay. And in our discussion, Michelle, we were gonna pay for that out of. Okay. All right, well, looks like our effort to sharpen the pencil was successful, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Any discussion on this?
No.
No, we need furniture in there. Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approval?
Aye. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you,
Any
Joe.
opposed? Motion approved.
Sorry, Judge.
Let's see, I think the next item is yours as well, Joe. Consider approval of Resolution 2025-103 for various donations in the amount of $382 contributed to the Victoria County Animal Services Department in fiscal year '25. I guess those aren't itemized.
The money that was donated is going to help us with spade and neuter and any vet bills that we have.
Okay, well, we appreciate all those who were part of that $382.
Yep. Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, sir.
Really?
Oh, wait, it is itemized.
It is itemized on that last one.
Okay. All right. Item number 22 is to consider approval of an annual contract renewal with Stephanie Whitley, RDN LD, to provide dietitian services at the Victoria County Regional Juvenile Justice Center and take appropriate action. Looks to be as simple as it was stated, an annual renewal.
Yep.
Kelly, we're on point there? Okay.
All right, move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion approved. Item number 23, consider reappointment of Victoria County Commissioner Danny Garcia as County Judge Pro Tem for 2026, or until such time as another appointment may be made and take appropriate action. Of course, Commissioner Garcia is our most senior member of the court and commissioner, and this would reappoint him to Judge Pro Tem for 2026.
I move to reappoint Commissioner Garcia Pro Tem.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approval?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 24, pursuant to Local Government Code 81.005, designate a day of the week the Commissioners Court shall convene in regular term each month and all other meetings to be special term and take appropriate action.
Oh.
I always forget which one is our regular term.
Judge, it is tradition that the second Monday of the
Second
month
Monday.
is our regular term meeting.
Okay, okay. Very good. So I would entertain a motion
So
to
moved.
continue
Second.
using the second Monday of the month as regular, all other to be special terms. We had a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 25, pursuant to Local Government Code 263.155, receive the results of the Victoria County Gov Deals auctions for 2025 and take appropriate action.
Move to receive.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and what were we auctioning off?
We had Road and Bridge auction off a lot of old equipment. I think precinct 1, 2, and 4.
Okay.
3, or no, 1 and 3 and 4
Okay.
had some stuff. That's all it was, Judge.
Very good. I see the list here. Okay. And we had a second on that?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry about
All
that.
those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item number 26 is to consider approval of order number 2025-104, authorizing Victoria County, including Citizens Medical Center, to issue payments for payroll, withholding, Social Security, retirement insurance, unemployment compensation, credit union, United Way, Citizens Medical Center, Healthplex, out-of-county fines, fees, cash bonds, postage, utilities, bond fees, and jury service payments, and take appropriate action.
I think that covers it all.
I think it does.
I don't think we missed anything.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item number 27, authorize the county judge to execute a participation agreement with J.P. Morgan Chase in connection with the Victoria County purchasing cards vendor change contingent on legal review and take appropriate action. Page, let's see, we just have a simple, that's as simple as this two-page document?
Yes, sir, that is what they sent us, and they said just need your signature and we can move forward.
Okay,
All
very
right.
good. All right, well, thank you for getting that done, Paige, and Adrian, and all the others who
Yes.
played a part on that. Do we have a motion to approve item 27?
Move to approve. Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 28 is to consider approval of the biannual food bid, annual coffee bid for the Victoria County Sheriff's Office and take appropriate action. Good morning, Sheriff.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning,
How are y'all?
Y'all drink coffee over there?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Now, this is just the lowest bid one, so we're just changing up a couple vendors.
Okay.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all this is? You're changing
Yeah,
up
just
people, huh?
Okay.
Cool.
Do we have a motion to approve?
Sure. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved.
They do
Item
drink a lot of
number-
coffee.
What's that?
They do drink a lot of coffee.
There's, yeah.
Is that inmates as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thought it was just you guys. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I thought that was just, I thought that was just your office.
Item
days.
number 29 is to receive for the record executed notice letter from the Johnson Foundation in connection with the Victoria County Sheriff's Office and take appropriate action. That's part of and another step forward with finishing out our regional emergency, our public safety facility.
Yeah, very excited about that.
We
Yeah.
have so many new things, I'm losing grasp of all the acronyms,
A-okay.
Ain't kidding.
which is a good thing.
Yes.
All right, do we have a motion to receive for the record?
Move to receive.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Chief.
Yes, there's the chief as
There's
well.
the chief
Morning, Chief.
hiding
He
over
drinks
there.
coffee too.
All right, item number 30 is to receive for the record the following letters of permission to enter private property in Precinct 3 and take appropriate action. A, Fredline Poggle at 678 Beck Road West for the purpose of improving drainage, and B is David Steves at 8917 Colettoville Road, also for the purpose of improving drainage.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item number 31, salary orders. We will approve that after closed session, so that's another item that we will come back to. Don't let me forget to do that. Item number 32 is to consider the transfer of the court clerk warrants position from Justice of the Peace Precinct Number 1 to Justice of the Peace Precinct Number 2. Do we have a motion to
What is this?
approve?
A little background on this.
Okay.
Yeah, what is that, Judge?
We can revisit that in closed session as
Okay.
well.
I would like
All right.
to.
All right. Let's go to item number 33. Item number 33 is to consider approval of the following policies and take appropriate action. A is the personnel policy, B, disaster pay policy, and C, drug-free workplace policy.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning, Gianni.
This is just kind of being brought back for your attention. There was some questions, I think, on the disaster pay policy. So you see in your
Yeah,
packet that we've
remember that.
provided you a comparison on those for the counties that we were able to find. An aspect that's not included that I think could be for further future discussion is a deployment policy to add in there. We just didn't get to that point, but Jenna did provide some examples, and Jessica as well, for when our emergency management staff goes to deploy for other emergencies elsewhere in the state. So that's currently not addressed in the disaster pay policy. The personnel policy, you will see an overview of the updates that were made and the rationale regarding those. The only difference from the last time it was before you to now is we did add in compensation the ability or language to consider a uniform pay policy. There was some initial conversation with, I believe it was Commissioner Garcia and Commissioner Sexton. We were looking at our Shoes for Crews program and the possibility of what it covers, because it covers safety supplies as well as Shoes for Crews, and we had 75 positions. It was not a lot of dollars, and we often found that our employees preferred to buy specific brands or higher cost. So the way the policy is currently written is if the court approves a budget for that, in future budgets, then it would allow departments to reimburse employees up to a certain dollar amount when they purchase safety required shoes, such as steel toe boots or slip resistant or something like that. But similarly, even with our new workers' comp provider, we do have a safety equipment program, which would have shoes, slip resistant and steel toe boots for them to choose from as well. So it would give both options available.
Do we know what's that dollar amount? Do we know what it is?
It's just whatever's listed on the policy. They have specific ones. I can certainly send it out to your foremans to take a look at the shoes that are in there and available to them. TAC also did say if they have a specific brand or style to let them know and they can add it. It's basically an Amazon storefront, so they can add certain products that we
I think
want
it'd be
to it.
good if you could share that with them.
No, it's a good program. I have experience with it in running skill buildings, skill care facilities. It's a very good program. Provides shoes. I do believe you can payroll deduct them, or you can do things of that nature. And it also helps with slip and falls and any type of injuries. Helps on your insurance.
It's just nice if they could, in my opinion, they could choose their own because
Yes.
from the complaints I've heard through this, I mean,
Yeah.
they're appreciative of it, but
Right.
it seems like the quality doesn't hold up for a year on the boots.
Right.
And I think, as far as my barn goes, I mean, guys don't mind paying over what's adopted to be able to get good quality, Ariat, Red Wing boots of that nature that are a little more expensive than $100.
Yeah, and this kind of just outlines that that's
Sure.
available if the court approves the budget for it.
That's very appreciated. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to be
No, you're good.
unappreciative. Yeah, no, the
Yeah,
guys.
I mean, we
they all-
recognize that there's certain needs and
Sure.
desires, so.
Back on the disaster pay policy, I know we had asked for the comparison, which we have two here. And so who all was on that committee reviewing this? Rick, you were?
Becky, David, Commissioner Martin.
Okay. Okay. And this was far more complex than what it would appear.
Yeah, so I think some of the questions that came up the last time were, should we include the shift worker positions in our kind of essential, historically, the county has exempted any position that's falling under 207K unless they were specifically assigned to storm response or event response. They've been excluded from any overtime pay or things of that
And with
sort.
this new revision, was that changed?
No, it was not.
Okay.
It has been left the same, but we did find then when we look at Rockwall County and San Patricio County, they don't distinguish that, so essential is considered essential, but they also don't propose pay the way we were. So we were proposing that for employees that are essential and work directly storm response, that they are paid at an overtime rate for every hour worked, plus they receive the administrative paid for if it falls during an office closure that the court approves, which essentially means they're getting paid 2.5 times their salary for every hour worked. That is more than what other counties do.
That did strike me as being high.
So there are some alternatives for the court to consider. You can just not have them pay get paid the administrative leave, but still get paid 1.5 times for every hour worked. I did find, I think it was Rockwall County, that they pay under standard Fair Labor Standard Acts rules, so regular hours for every hour worked, overtime once you hit whatever that marker is, either 40 hours or if they're on a 2-week schedule, 100 and, what's for law enforcement, Michelle?
Okay,
I'm gonna
did
get it wrong,
we,
but-
and it's been a while since we discussed this, did we look at what the impact would have been in prior scenarios had this been in place? I thought I recall Becky saying,
Yeah.
Okay.
I think she brought that to you the last time we were here. I believe it would have been like a $30,000 difference
Okay.
of the most recent.
Some reason that number sounds,
Oh, the law enforcement.
Okay.
component Of it, okay.
And so that 2.5, that we, in practice, we have done that previously? Or is
No.
this?
No.
So in
No, this
practice,
was
it was
fixed.
2 times?
In
It-
practice, it was just regular time, I think. 1.5 times.
because I think that, wasn't the administrative part because of the sheriff's office and the people on shift, isn't that where that came in, where you were paid admin pay plus 1.5 time, or am I wrong?
No, we've never done that. I think that
No,
was
that's what I'm
based
saying, that's where
on-
the theory, in theory, that's where that's come from. I was under the impression.
It was in some of our initial conversations when the court was wanting to distinguish the people that respond to the storm versus the people that work just regular day-to-day,
Mm-hmm.
and you wanted to make sure they were fairly compensated for that kind of direct response to emergencies or disasters.
Mm-hmm. I mean, being declared a natural disaster, would that have anything to do with this pay?
It would.
Yeah, because you'd be,
I mean, as
For
far
this
as,
to go into
as far as
effect,
assistance
there
goes.
would be, it would be under a disaster declaration, wouldn't it, Rick?
Right.
But that's what we were trying to steer away from this.
Oh.
From the court was that we didn't want to have that tied directly back to FEMA PA.
I was gonna say, that time
So
FEMA.
you folks need to make it prior to, so we have it written in policy before we move forward. And you can't base that upon what you might or may not get reimbursed.
So that's the theory behind it,
Yes.
is that you're basing it on something we could or could not get, and we just have it in set
We need
stone?
to make sure that we need to have it in set in stone.
I got you. Okay, that makes sense.
The additional administrative pay was to make people whole, so if you were pulling somebody off during a holiday, during 4th of July, and you have your folks, your foremen, and all your crews standing by ready to go, and it's 11 o'clock at night, and they're responding out, putting out the barricades already for the flooding, that was part of that conversation as well. So how do we compensate those folks where they've had to be put on standby, working, ready to go in the midst of whatever that disaster may be? So
Okay.
That's
In
something we
that
were pushing
regard-
for, because the holiday, because of the scenario that came up earlier this year on MLK,
Fortunately.
on the freeze, when all our guys were out in the,
the last 3 times
In the
have
freeze.
been on the holidays, and
Yeah.
so you folks
It
came
just-
back to us and said,
it just happened to happen
pull
on
all
the
these crews
holiday.
off and put them on ready to go.
Right.
Where they're actually been working, how do we compensate them back for that time?
Right.
So. And then, like she was saying earlier, though, for us reaching out to our peers and partners out there, it's far and few in between. The conversations that Jen and I have currently had with some of our emergency management officials that are out there, none of them have the pay policy. So as soon as we get ours in place, they want us to be able to provide
Okay.
them as well, so they can start it.
So this, overall, is the recommendation of the committee, each of you that were doing this? Okay.
Yes.
What's still left undone, even with all the tweaks, updates, fixes? What remains to be done?
I guess really just a decision from the court in a direction, like if you're okay with it or you want an alternative. I will say an alternative to the 2.5 that I found in Rockwall is they pay regular time, overtime once they hit their regular overtime rates, but they also pay a hazard pay. So they don't define what a dollar amount that is, and that would be, available to the
Right.
court to do. But that's a good alternative that allows you to compensate those people. The policy as written also defines the standby time. So in the instance that Rick just mentioned, we did add in there if they're placed on standby at home or not, on how they get paid for that. So that is accounted for in the policy
Okay.
as well.
I'm not opposed to it as it is.
Wait, you're not opposed to it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out which part of this we're talking about. So we're saying we're going to approve, or on the table is 2.5 times when they work a disaster?
It would be what's here.
That's what I was reading this, and I didn't.
For essential disaster-related or response work, it amounts to 2.5 times. So they're paid the admin leave hours for their closure,
I
for their
got you.
regularly scheduled shift, plus 1.5 times for every hour work. And then for essential
I understand.
non-response to the storm, it's the admin leave plus if they work their straight time.
Okay.
All right.
So 2 times.
Okay, and then on the personnel policy, all the proposed changes are highlighted in red with comments. I guess these are your comments, Gianni?
Yes, and the comments that were made during the review by the committee.
Okay, so we've got that, we've got the disaster pay, and then we've got proposed changes to the drug-free workplace policy. Okay. Okay, any further discussion on these, or is the court ready to adopt these?
I don't have any discussion.
No more discussion, okay?
No more discussion. I moved to approve A, B, and C.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve 33A, B, and C. All those in favor of approval?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Thank you, Gianni, and
Thank you.
everyone else who has been working on this. This,
Thank you.
too, is the culmination of a lot of hours and a lot of work. Moving on, item 34 is to consider approval of a claims runout agreement with Boone Chapman and take appropriate action.
Good morning
Hello
again.
again, Laura,
I'm here
welcome.
to answer any
Morning,
questions
Laura.
you have, but I did put a memo in the packet. Obviously, with our transition, we still have to keep Boone Chapman on board for a little while, as most of you guys
Right.
are familiar with. Doctor's office could take months to file claims, so any services provided between here and the end of the year, they'll continue to process those claims through 2026 and make sure those get paid for us. If you have any specific questions, Laura's available.
Seems simple enough.
It's pretty simple. So yeah, you will have some claims that are incurred but not yet paid.
Right.
You do have your new contract looks back. It's a 15-12, so it does reach back into 2025, but there will still be some that kind of fall through the cracks or that take a long time to process.
Okay.
After the 3 months, you're paying a lump sum for the first 90 days, and then that goes to a minimum of $1,000 a month or $20 per claim, whichever is least expensive. I guess, minimum.
So how long will it continue to run after that? Just as,
It runs through the end of the year.
okay.
And then we did receive, I don't know if you remember this, because it's been a couple of months, but we did receive some administrative credits from TAC as a result of the bid that were totaled to $115,000. And some of that was meant to help offset any costs of this transition. So this would be one of those.
Okay.
Very good.
Yep.
Do we have a motion to approve?
Move to
So moved.
approve. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank
Cool.
you, Laura.
Thank
Good
you.
to see
Merry
you,
Christmas
Gianni.
to all of
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Item number, what am I on, 35?
35.
Consider approval of personnel changes and take appropriate action. It looks to me like that is, what is this? Paying out some comp time? I see that as the only item under 35. Do we have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 36, receive for the record discretionary fund budget amendments. if any, and take appropriate action, and there are some. Looks like the Sheriff's DOT forfeiture fund of $42,000 and the special inventory fund, is that in the SO as well?
I think so.
That is for $8,000.
No, no,
tax
no, it's tax office.
Okay, okay. Both of those would be receiving for our records.
Move to receive.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 37 is to consider approval of 2025 budget amendments and take appropriate action, and there are many, being the last
At the
meeting
end of the year, I tell you.
Copies of those are in front of each of you.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. All right, we will need to all sign those. Let's take a recess. Let's take about a 10-minute recess. When we come back, we'll go straight into closed session. But we will stand in recess for 10 minutes. right, let's come out of recess here. Just signal me, Stephanie, when we're good. Good over here? All right. We are coming out of recess, or back from recess at 11:31 a.m. For multiple closed session items. That's 38 on the agenda. Closed meeting pursuant to VTCA Government Code. Don't need to read all the code. To discuss personnel in various departments, economic development, and a private consultation with the county's attorney regarding matters protected by attorney-client privilege. And we will go into closed session now at 11:31 for those purposes. Morning, Jim. Can you hear us?
Yes, Judge. Good morning.
All right. Very good. Well, good morning and welcome, everyone. Jim, I don't know if you can, what you can see here. We have Jonas and Sharon from VEDC. From the port, Byron Burris, David Murphy, Port Commission members, as well as Dwayne Crocker, the legal counsel for the port, and our mayor. Welcome, Mayor, and each of you. So our economic development discussion with all of us will be the first item we address here. Well, let's see. Sean had reached out to me about a couple of us going and visiting with y'all at the port meeting on tomorrow. I wasn't available, so we said, come on to closed session and we can all visit together. And so that's what this is about First Ammonia. I guess what the discussion, I presume, was when Commissioners Court had met about this and discussed in closed session what we might want to do in terms of the abatement, what we had contemplated was a 50% abatement, possibly for 10 years. I conveyed that to Sharon, and then I visited with Jonas and Sharon, and it's apparently the expectation of First Ammonia that this be at 10 years at 100%, so that's the genesis of this discussion. What's the deal? What? The hell? Okay.
Uh-oh. When you get Chad back in here. Thank you, Michelle.
Yes, thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, we are.
Hey, David, is Clint down there? It looks like.
Here he is. Here's Clint. Here's Clint now.